If you're anything like me, you might have had some limiting beliefs around making money online. But this year, I've generated the most revenue I've ever had in my life, but it still doesn't feel like I've done enough. So I want to talk to you about how I plan to make 7 figures in 2025, and you can do the same thing in your fitness coaching business. I want you to steal these tips because trust me, you can do it. And all of this stuff is what I've learned through working with 7-figure mentors. And because of that time spent with these mentors, it's actually made me realize how possible it really is. In this video, I'm going to cover everything. How many clients I'm going to need, the team that I'm going to have to build, my actual strategy, and I'm going to explain also why this is important to me. So stick around because if I can do it, I think you can do it too. Now, before I get to the meat and bones of it, you might be wondering, what's the first step to scale into 7 figures? And I think that you need to make sure that you have a very, very good service, because if you can't serve anybody, no one's going to buy from you. So before you do anything, actually be good at what you do, which obviously for fitness and health coaching, you help people get in amazing shape, lose weight, improve their physical health and their mental health at the same time. So when I think about the goal of getting to £1 million in a year, I think of it long term. So the best step for me is to chunk it down. So let's think of it like this. I need to be making £83,333 a month to be able to get to that number. And then I can break that down by what my coaching service is. In this case, we charge a few thousand to work with us on a personal level. I'm gonna need around 20 to 25 clients per month to achieve that, or have those 20 or 25 clients pay me a certain amount per month on a recurring revenue basis to achieve that number. So now when I think about it, it's really not that much. I need to get those numbers and have them stay. Now that I know my numbers, I just have to break things down on a step-by-step format. But the problem is we think about getting clients, and I just said I need 20 clients, but I haven't thought about my retention. So I need to make sure that my churn rate is not above 10%, because if it goes above 10%, it's going to be very, very hard for me to keep people in the business, and it ultimately just becomes a leaking bucket. Now, you might be thinking, I can't charge a couple of £1,000s for my fitness coaching or my health coaching or my nutrition coaching, but actually you can. I would say that you should start at a baseline of at least £1,500 for 6 months of coaching. Or if you're a Yankee, then maybe $2,000, $2,500. Not everyone will be able to charge that at the start, but you want to build your way up to sell high ticket fitness coaching programs. In fact, I've actually got a 6-figure sales script that you can steal below. When you get to that point of being able to sell that price, you might have to sell a bit more in a month, but you want to get to the point where your monthly recurring revenue is $83,000 per month, which is where we are aiming towards. And we now know the numbers that we need to get to that number every single month. On top of that, you've probably already got clients. So you need to make sure you've got a solid process to get referrals. And that really is going to come from having a good product and a good service so that you can actually get people to rave and shout about you. And then we have a very, very solid referral process so that people will come in and buy from you. Our referral process is quite simple. We give people big rewards if they give us the most referrals within a quarter. And then we celebrate anybody that does give us a referral publicly, because it gets other people to buy into being a helping hand. You know, like, it's good to help other people. You need that mentality when you're doing something like this. Now, the next point is very, very important. I want you to think of it like this. If you've got a garden, doing paid ads is like putting in a fully grown tree. Like, it's already done, it's good to go. The other method of organic marketing is like planting a seed and you have to water it over time. But what if we could combine the two? Planting seeds and having a fully grown tree, over time, our garden's gonna look sick. So with paid ads, for us, we need to aim for 20 to 30 new leads per day. And if we're getting 20 to 30 leads a day over the course of a 30-day period, and we've got an 8 to 12% booking rate, then we're gonna do pretty well. In fact, let's break the numbers down even further. And I'm just gonna look at my screen for this one. 30 leads a day over the course of 30 days gives me 900 leads. 900 leads at a 10% booking rate equals 90 calls. 90 calls with a 75% show up rate gives me 68 calls that actually show up. Then a 30% closing rate gives me 20 new clients per month. And out of those 20 new clients, let's just say my average order value is £1,000. That gives me 20K. Now, obviously that's not going to get me to $1 million, but again, we're trying to get recurring revenue over time. So that means if I can continue that trend over 4 to 6 months while making sure my retention is high and I'm not losing a lot of clients, I get to my monthly recurring revenue of 83K per month quite quickly. So when I have the system that books that many calls and gets me that many sales, I really have to drive home retention, because keeping clients is obviously like the most important part of this process. But I spoke to you about ads. Now we need to talk about organic, because we need to mesh the two. Remember the garden? Organically, I want to be booking calls through this YouTube channel by giving you guys loads of value, so much value that you think, raw, I want to work with this guy. And then my Facebook and Instagram. Organically, I'm already posting 1 to 2 times per day with amazing value, some really good high quality videos, some really raw and natural videos and podcast clips. So I'm building my personal brand to the point where people know me as the expert, which I am, of course. On top of that, I am not shying away from outbound messaging. We're doing about 40 to 60 outbound messages a day. And we also add a little bit of cold DMs in there as well. I know I tell you guys don't do cold DMs. Most fitness coaches are B2C. I am B to biz op. So I'm offering you guys a business opportunity. So I don't mind doing a bit of cold DMs. So with that, I'm aiming to have about 10 inbound inquiries every single week, which is 2 a day, Monday to Friday. Now, let's talk about my actual YouTube strategy though, because YouTube is tough, right? But I'm not on YouTube to get famous. I'm on YouTube to build my brand and deliver value and nurture people. So we keep it simple. I aim to post 2 high quality YouTube videos per week, one from me, one from Michael. There's 2 of us, so we should be delivering double the value. And then every month and every quarter, we host like a big type of marketing event, whether it's a giveaway, a 7-day challenge, a live webinar, a boot camp, or an in-person event. That way I can sell at scale, and that's really the key, so that we can have big bumps in revenue. So for fitness, you can do something very, very similar. You could be hosting fitness webinars. If you're a woman who helps new mums, you might have my 3-step guide to help you lose belly fat after giving birth. And you literally do a live 45-minute webinar and you sell off the back of the webinar. You could do a 7-day challenge, my 7-day dad bod challenge, and then you sell off the back of the challenge. So you need opportunities where you can sell at mass. And then there's one more thing I'm going to be adding to my program to make sure we can hit those 7 figures. And that is very, very high level masterminds that are exclusive and expensive to join. We're not making it cheap. We've done cheap events in the past, £20, £50 tickets. This time we're charging like £200, £300, £400 to even be in a room with us. This is only going to be for the top coaches that are serious about scaling. And it allows us to really deliver value to just a limited amount of people so they can go out and action it. And that's really the key. On top of that, we're continuing with the podcast. So again, if you're a coach, you should probably have a podcast alongside your YouTube channel. And then lastly, school. We have the school group there. So we should be aiming to book about 5 to 10 calls per week from school, which our school group has 1,000 people in there. For fitness, you guys could have a free community, even a WhatsApp group, and you could every week just do one call to action in that group to get people to try and buy from you, raise their hand, show some interest. And you should be trying to book 8 to 12 calls from that group every week. And if we add up all the calls that we could take in a month, getting to 1 million feels a lot more realistic, right? I hope so. Anyway, we ain't done yet. Now, for those of you that know me, I come from a football background. And one thing about football and sports is no one can do it on their own. Look, even Steven Gerrard, probably the best English midfielder in the last 30, 40 years, he couldn't carry Liverpool to a Premier League title on his own. It's all about a team. So if you want to get to 7 figures, it's very unlikely that you are going to do it on your own. The truth is, you want to keep the team lean and very profitable. So what we've learned over the last couple of months, especially investing in our business, is that we need to be a lot more effective with our team. And you need to do the same thing. So if you're a health and fitness coach, you need to think more about your KPIs. And you have to start treating it like a proper business. You are now a CEO. So the focus has to be on, are we hitting our KPIs every week? And the KPIs that you should be looking at is, how many calls are we getting booked? How many sales are we making each week? What's our show-up rate? What's our closing rate? How many qualified people are getting onto calls? All of this data is very, very important, and it allows you to sit down with your sales team and then delegate. And when you get closer to that 7 figures, you will hire someone to close sales calls for you. Sales calls is probably the last thing that you'll let go of, but at some point you will get someone to do it for you. The biggest problem a lot of coaches have though is they don't run weekly trainings. So you should be doing weekly trainings with your sales team. and you should be setting KPIs and making sure that they are on point. You have to raise the bar, set the bar really high. This is something that we failed to do in the past. We kept getting people coming in and leaving. The hiring turnover was like crazy, but now we've got a settled team and we train them and we get on calls with them every week. And it's just love. It's like a lovely meeting where, you know, we're raising the bar, we're praising each other, but we're criticizing each other at the same time. It's all about delivering value to each other. And I'm raising my team up so they can meet the requirements and the standards that we expect of them. With that being said, we have weekly scorecard meetings where we rate each other's performances. We do end of day reports. So at the end of each day, everyone on the team has to send a report. My setters, my closers, everyone sends a report. We have an ops manager. He helps with the creative. He helps with managing the clients. He deals with emails, admin, all that kind of stuff. If we want to get to 7 figures, we need clear practices. We've got, how do we handle complaints? How do we handle refunds? How do we handle cancellations? How do we onboard a new client? If you want to make 7 figures in the health and fitness industry, you need it to be systemized. On top of that, we also have a success coach. And for fitness, you have an assistant fitness coach or a success coach, and they are going to help you run your actual program. So they're going to handle fulfillment, because if you're stuck in fulfillment all the time, it's going to be very, very, very hard for you to scale. But having a team is cool. Like, having a team is cool. But the problem is you need to keep your team happy. So that means reward them every quarter. If someone does something really well, offer bonuses, incentivize them to work a bit harder. Let them know that, hey, you're doing really well. Have one-to-one meetings with people. Become a leader. And that's essentially the hardest part of running your own business. And to be honest, I feel like that for us, it's getting a little bit easier, which is why I'm very confident that we'll get to 7 figures. So the last bit here is my why. I don't want to get deep on you because I don't want to cry, but you know, I've never seen £1 million in my life. In fact, the fact that we've done over 6 figures in the last 2 years is still mind-blowing to me. But I want to make $1 million, not for me. I've got my own house. You know, I'm happy. I've got a car. You know, I can do whatever I want to a degree. I can travel when I feel like it, but it's more than that. I still haven't paid off my mum's mortgage. I also come from a place where people don't actually think they can achieve what I'm about to achieve. Where I come from, people are either in jail, they're selling drugs, or they're working regular jobs where they barely make money. So to even think of making 7 figures doesn't come across their mind. I know I can do it, and I believe I can do it. So when I do it, I need to go back to where I came from and show them that, yo, anyone can do anything. Whether you're working class, whether you're middle class, upper class, I want people to know that, yo, anything is possible. And that's actually why I want to do it. That's why I want to do it. I don't really give a shit about the money too much. I want to make money, but I'm cool. I'm all right. I'm not dying. I got all my needs met. It's more about, yo, you did it and anyone else can do it. So I went into detail on how I'm going to get to 7 figures in 2025. You can steal that blueprint. In fact, why not let us help you build it? If you're a health coach, a nutritionist, an online coach, a dietitian, and you want our help to build your online coaching business, you can book a call with me. The link is in the description. You can chat to me or the team, and we can implement the systems that we're about to build for ourselves into your business as well. And if it doesn't work, we actually give you the money back and you can keep the system that we built for you. So if you need help scaling, press that link. I'll see you soon. Peace.